Back in July of 2024, I decided to at least try my hand at reviving my channel and just doing some live streaming. Through trial and error and realizing I needed to up my equipment a small bit, I was able to garner a whole lot of views. Like the amount of views I've gotten and the subscription and the subs I got, I'm eternally grateful for. And so because of this video is dedicated to a year in review, essentially. Like looking at the highs, many highs basically, and essentially just the content that at least got this many views in the first place as well. So here's to 2026 being a year or two, basically. Fingers crossed we can go and soar to higher heights, and with greater depths, and more interactions with chat as well. Happy New Year, and yes, I know, it's not directly on January 1st, but better late than never, if I'll be quite honest. As all, the Game Boy was a juggernaut, nothing to be messed with. It had competition, don't get me wrong. Everything in life will have competition. The Sega Game Gear was very worthy competition. It had one thing that Nintendo did not do up until the Game Boy Advance. Oh, Game Boy Advance SP, I should say. Backlit and color screen and color technology for games. But the thing is, the Game Gear, while it had those great things, it had a really shitty battery life. Like, the Game Boy could do lots more hours. I'm talking like maybe 3, maybe 4 times as many hours as the Game Gear. Like, I looked it up myself, and the battery level is a joke for the Game Gear. It's a fucking joke. Like, I feel bad for people that flat out thought, oh wow, I'm gonna get the Game Gear because it's not baby stuff. But my brother in Christ, that you got yourself schmeckledorfed like a common day fool for thinking the Game Gear would actually be a lot better than the Game Boy. Cause if we're looking at sales and games and longevity, it's a no-brainer. Sure, the lack of color is a downgrade, and yeah, but sure, it had a greater quality, but it wasn't really that well maintained. Second boss down, and gasp, it was an illusion. Up we go. 8 lives, thank you very much, because I am not sure if the number 0 counts in a game like this. Well, I'll just go back to my Game Gear spiel. Like, there were games on the Game Gear that I feel are pretty good. Like, a couple of the Sonic ones are good, like Sonic Chaos, Sonic Triple Trouble are good. Maybe Sonic Labyrinth if you want like a good puzzle game. Like, yeah, like I feel Labyrinth does get its flack because it does something so dramatically different for Sonic. And Sonic is not known for its puzzle game, for anything related to puzzles or labyrinths. And the only thing Labyrinth associated with Sonic is Labyrinth Zone, and people hate that noise. Myself included, because of how slow and tedious it is, and Sonic's ongoing lack of wanting to learn how to swim. But I feel Labyrinth is a good time for puzzle. Is a good time if you want to have like a nice, neat little puzzle game. Like, it's not too complicated, but it's not too mind-numbingly easy. It'll have you think, but it's a good time, I feel, regardless, for Sonic Labyrinth. Sonic Chaos, I feel it's a fun time. You know, you play as Sonic, you play as Tails, you have like rocket shoes that let you fly or whatever. And then Sonic Triple Trouble is Sonic Triple Trouble, and that game is fantastic. For Game Gear games. Aside from that, like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, I feel are fine. Sonic Drift... Yeah, Sonic Drift. I was about to say Sonic R. That was a big boo-boo. Big boo-boo on my part. And Sonic Drift 1 and 2 are relatively fine. You know, it was trying to cash in on the craze. Why did I say phrase? I'm trying to say craze of kart racing for platformer for mascots, because Super Mario Kart sold like hotcakes, And so Sega wanted to at least do that same kind of thing for I will call mulligans on that one, because that is stupid. Anyway, Sonic Drift went into are relatively fine in terms of games for racers. And then Sonic Blast looks like utter dog shit, and plays like utter dog shit. The reason why I'm saying this for Sonic Blast is because Sega saw what Nintendo was doing for Donkey Kong Country, and they thought, let's at least do what we did for Sonic 3D Blast on the Genesis and other consoles or whatever, and try to jam that into our Game Gear console. Valiant efforts. I will not deny that. I will not deny that it is a valiant effort. But my goodness, it is a visual nightmare. It looks like garbage. Like hot, steaming, dog shit garbage. Like, my goodness, man. You could not have made a worse looking video game. And the bad part is that it's the only one that actually lets you play as Knuckles. That's not Sonic Drift 2. Ugh. And the funny thing is that none of the Game Gear games involve Super Sonic, despite the fact that they all have 7 Chaos Emeralds in hand. But yeah, that's just my spiel about how the Game Gear, well beloved, just gets dog-walked by the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. And that although Sega was ahead of the game for the whole color and backlit screening thing, Nintendo basically mastered the form of quality and quantity for their main lineup. Because besides for Mario, you have Tetris, which is no introduction, it's Tetris. Your grandmother knows it's Tetris. The Zoomer babies know it's Tetris. Pretty sure Gen Alpha knows what Tetris is at this point in time. Because I'm pretty sure you'll find like 5 Skippity Toilet ripoffs of Tetris or whatever that sort. And then there's the juggernaut known as Pokemon. That sounds like hotcakes. Yeah. That sounds like hotcakes. Whoop. Come on here. That sounds like hotcakes for Pokemon. And then there's other games as well in their lineup that proved to be beloved classics within the Game Boy lineup. That's not to say the Game Gear doesn't have anything good. No. Far be it from me to discount the Game Gear and its validity. But you gotta at least be objective with that whole thing, though. I think this is the last area of the game. The last part of the game. I'll also take care of this last mook, and then we can get a move on to Gygas. Oh! That one! The Bionic Kraken. The Bionic Kraken is the last enemy that you'll fight within the game before you get to Gygas. What makes it special is that this one particular enemy has Ness's ultimate bat. And with all 4 party members, this is a 1 out of 128 chance of you getting it from the Bionic Kraken. There is only one Bionic Kraken, and I doubt, maybe you could at least try to exit scum your way out, like you get out from the area, and you go back to the particular area that has the Bionic Kraken? The Bionic Kraken? Maybe? But I have my doubts. I have my doubts. Okay, we do that. Okay, PK Fire maybe? And Jeff used Defense Shower. And Pooh Mirror. Of course you couldn't. Of course you couldn't. Of course you couldn't, Boo. Of course you couldn't. Of course. Crashing boom bang it, tell, thank God. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, of course. But this is why I prepped in advance. Horn of Life, go to Jeff. Voila! Voila. Crashing Boom Bang Attack is just PK Thunder, basically. But can I save scum? Oh, shoot, I can! Okay, I did not know, okay. But... no, you can't. You can't, sucker. No, you can't, sucker. If I last recall, I think that Bionic Kraken, there is only one of those that exist. Can you encounter it again? Yes, you can. Okay, what weakness does this guy have? Nice. Goddamn, okay, game. Didn't give Jeff a chance to spy on it. Not upset by that. Not upset by a good level up either. Not upset about that at all, thank you. I'm gonna at least try at least a couple times because, damn, son. I know getting a smash attack is kind of a lucky shot. But damn, dude, okay. It's like, damn, son. Excuse me. Not gonna try with that. Because that's kind of suicide. Magic butter. Oh no, why are you out of my reach, little butterfly? Why are you out of my reach? No. 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 Oh no, it's just those fuckers. No, please, no. 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 I want to at least look and see if I can at least grind off one last time on the Bionic, on the Kraken. Pretty please, game. Pretty please. Pretty please. Oh wait, it seems to only be one. Final star. Poo-poo to you too. Poo-poo to you too, Final Starman. Come on. No. No. Because usually the Starman... because usually the Kraken would just be by its lonesome, not by... with anyone else. Because honestly, let's just face it, that sprite is way too goddamn big for it to be accompanied by anything else. You can try all you want to try and get the Bionic Kraken item drop, but it's going to be pretty difficult to do. Oh, come on, game! Really, game? It's the Bionic Starman duo again. Really? Alright. I'm gonna try one last, maybe at least a couple times, to try and at least force the Kraken out, but if I can't, I can't. Oh, wait, shoot, 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 shoot. Yeah, no. Oh, whoopsie, whoopsie. Wrong button. Wrong button. Okay, strike one for this one. If I can't, then at least Nest got the legendary bat, which is what you can get on the way to beating, I guess. Ah, there we go. Okay, what's the Bionic Kraken weak to? Shit, dude, okay. Damn, okay, son. What? Oh, cut, what? Yo, whoa. Okay, Gutsy Bat, considered Ness's best weapon in Earthbound. Raises offense by 100 and guts by 127. Third strongest bat. Oh god. Gives a good chance of the smash attack. Jesus. And a 1/128th. Gee, goddamn, dude. Damn, son. Where was this when I was trying to find the star pendants? Where was this when I was trying to find the ultimate weapons for Paula and Jeff? Where the hell was this when I was trying to find the fucking thing for the star pendants? Because the star pendants are really damn good at defense items because it helps protect against a good chunk of PSI shenanigans. But what the fuck? Oh, whoa, son. The Gutsy Bat, damn, son. Jesus. Holy shit. Okay. Whoa. Gutsy Bat. Ness can equip this weapon. When equipped, it increases your guts. Damn right it does. Damn right it does. Damn Skippy it does. Jesus, holy shit, dude. Man. I cannot believe I've gotten the Gutsy Bat on stream. Hell, a 1/128 item that is a weapon that's on stream. Damn, son. Holy shit. I'm honestly pretty happy. Like, I am honestly pretty goddamn happy with that. Damn. Jeez, dude. Damn, son. Hold on, if I wanna just look up a bit more info about the Gutsy Bat besides what I just got. Because, yo, damn, son, nice. Just, god damn, that's nice. Okay, but the Gutsy Bat increases guts by 127. 1/128th. You bet your ass I'm gonna equip that goddamn bat. After I do some item inventory movement, because god, this thing is a pain in the ass. Casey Bat, get the fuck out. I don't want you anymore. Okay, Gutsy Bat, give to Ness. Ooh, baby, yes. Okay, party members, I at least have half of them at least have their ultimate weapon. Ness has the Gutsy Bat, and Pooh has the Sword of Kings. Paul and Jeff at least have, like, at least their third or second best weapon. But damn, son, okay, nice. Legendary bats. Yes. Yes. Ooh, baby, I'm feeling good today. Seriously, I was flat out ready just to go, I'll get it, I won't get it. I'll get it, I won't get it. But damn, son. Goddamn, okay. Shit, dude. Next fun fact is that for Earthbound, the advertising. Oh boy, the advertising for Earthbound is not fun. For Earthbound, I'll be quite honest, the advertising for Earthbound is not the brightest ever. Because the simple fact that because of its advertising, well, not just the advertising, but the time it was released. Earthbound was released in the mid-90s, which is basically when it's like around the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle. And because of that, it's also a completely new IP from Nintendo, something that people really aren't going to be that familiar with. Like if it was Final Fantasy, like they did like Final Fantasy 1 to 6 or 1 to 3 in America for reasons, but people still are at least used to Final Fantasy because there's more than one game. But for Earthbound, it's only one game on the Super Nintendo at the end of the game's life cycle. And the game, because it's quirky, I do admire its charm, did actually release within its strategy guide a whole scratch and sniff motif, where the various monsters were modeled after various stinky smells. And flat out, in one of the pages on the guide or advertising, it says, "Because this game stinks." As if life didn't stink enough already, now you've got to be prepared. Earthbound, the first roleplay game RPG with BO. Imagine the horror. In the aftermath of a terrible meteor strike, or was it an evil alien invasion, burping, belching, gaseous monsters roam the streets of your hometown. Your only chance to survive and avoid their nasty smells is to learn the powers that can counteract their deadly forces. Luckily, every day that you manage to stay alive, your powers improve. As you venture into neighboring towns, you make some friends, including a girl who has amazing psychic powers, a boy genius capable of repairing anything broken, and a prince from an exotic eastern land. These friends help you take control of your newfound strengths. And help you'll need if you thought the dark, creepy dungeons and evil spells of other role-playing games were tough to overcome. Just wait until you have to deal with the heinous stench of monsters roaming the countryside. To make it easier to press the start button, a $10 coupon is attached. When the game arrives, a player's guide will be included. Blah, 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 blah. Inside the guide are 6 identismell playing cards that give you a brutal whiff of some of the characters, as well as tips and everything else. But even with all the powers, friends, and tips in the world, it isn't going to be easy. That's because you, Ness, a mere 13-year-old boy, are the only one who has fighting chance of finding and defeating Gygas, an interstellar warrior who is out to destroy the entire universe. And to be perfectly honest, the odds were against you, because this game stinks. This game stinks. Please buy our game. The end. Yeah, so because of those factors and the bad advertising and flat out the scratch and sniff bad smells of some of the monsters, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is why Earthbound never got any big-time re-releases within the West. It wasn't up until the Wii U era, where they re-released Earthbound on the Wii U and the 3DS, along with Mother 1, that people actually were able to play Earthbound in another way, because the only way you could play Earthbound and Mother 1 is either by emulation or by buying the actual cartridges. And for Earthbound, it's pretty expensive to buy the cartridge for Earthbound. And I take it's going to be even more expensive for Mother 1 because that's a Nintendo game, NES RPG, like an old school OG NES RPG. So yeah, not the best. One of the worst advertising schemes I've ever seen for a video game. One of the very worst. Maybe not like top 5, but maybe not like top 3, but maybe top 5 or within the top 10 of the very worst. Because at the very least, it's not something like John Romero is going to make you his bitch, or flat out just having advertising posters within Britain, like a British train station, telling you to jump. Those were some actual old Sony ads for the PSP. I'm not kidding. That, and also, at least it wasn't like, say, maybe Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 5 or 6, where they flat out just put like fake zombie parts, like fake decapitated body parts all over Britain or something like that, and made it like a scavenger hunt. That, or maybe it wasn't as bad as the advertising used. If you change your baby's name to, I think it was like a video game or something, then you actually get either a discount or the game for free. So basically, if you just change your kid's name to a video game or something like that for the next 18 years, you yourself, as the lucky parent, will get to have the game for a discount or have it for free. Yeah, those kinds of advertising stunts are obviously worse than Earthbound, but Earthbound is also one of the very worst, too, along as well. Figured I'd at least say some fun facts about that as well. Yes, that's probably why Earthbound never got any re-releases. Especially on the Wii Virtual Console. Oh, yeah, did not do that any favors with the whole "this game stinks" thing. It's quirky, I love it, it's an all-time classic RPG that people should give it a chance, but the advertising did not pull any favors or pull any punches for it being good for the public. Like, on one hand, the game did come with a strategy guide. That's a good thing. That's a plus. That's one step forward. But one step forward, you fall down the entire staircase and then face first, breaking your entire front row of teeth. Bad because of the advertising. Ugh. Oh, this game stinks. Yeah. Yes, this game's advertising sure sucks. Oh, there's a king card. You don't bet. Huh. Nani? Battle bug. What the fuck? I think these cards would be popular with kids for completely different reasons, but sure, why not? Nothing beats a nice warm Kiryu-chan in the winter. You got my temperature so hot I feel like I'm gonna...
Don't let your kids what's it?
The clay model of the diamond dog is unflattering. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one, because I'm looking at right now on the Earthbound fandom wiki. The diamond dog appearance for the clay model does not look good at all for it. It does not look any good. It really doesn't, honestly. It doesn't do the game sprite justice. Let's see, well, it's not a good strategy. The funny thing that can occur if you get a brain shock to go off is that it can bite itself in diamond dyes, dying immediately. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Now and then poo, brain shock. Brain shock Omega, so let's try it out. Dog is feeling strange. On this event, its sprite does not disappear and it's just kind of left sitting there. Ooh, nice. Shield Beta. Oh, yes! Paul's body was protected by a power shield. Very nice. It still got the strangeness effect, so let's try.
What the dog doing?
Ooh.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Ooh, yeah! Ooh, yeah, baby.
Stupid dog, that is a diamond. It turns itself into a diamond squared.
Watch the flow of my movements as I demonstrate. While exhaling, bend forward and touch your doors with both hands. Now, return to your original position.
Watch the flow of my movements as I demonstrate. Focus on stretching your back.
And there comes a giant bear!
Okay.
Mega Man wins!
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
That's quite big. Impressive.
What killed the dinosaurs?
Think fast, Chocolots! I'm running circles around you! Yeah, I dare you. Rage quit. Come on, make us both happy.
Didn't anyone ever tell you not to play with fire? Kick higher! You're too slow!
divine, so he's able to deliver inspired messages. Oh yeah, smells like cults. Smells like a cult. Yep, smells like cults, alright, and I got the weapons to get rid of the cults forcefully. Cultists. Boy, do I have more trivia to give. Insane cultists. They're the goons, part of the Happy Happy group, that basically brainwashed this small village to embrace happyism. Here's where the trivia comes in. Earthbound itself got censored. There's massive differences to certain parts of Earthbound where it had to be censored for the international releases, such as the one I'm playing right now. If I'm not mistaken, there were crosses at the hospital, so, you know, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to step on the toes for copyright infringement for the Red Cross. Another part is the Happy Happy cultists. The Happy Happy cultists, they don't represent the Ku Klux Klan as I thought it was when I was playing Earthbound Blind. They represent the Shamrikyo cult, if I'm not mistaken. The Shamrikyo cult, it was made by a cultist named Shamrikyo. It's not KKK based, but it's it's another deadly cult within Japan. And if memory serves, the Shamrikyo cult, I'm drawing a blank of what the actual name of the cult was. It had something to do with the apocalypse and all that razzmatazz. And they were responsible for a terrorist attack on Japan. Not just a terrorist attack, but the most deadly terrorist attack in Japanese history. I could be wrong with it being the most deadliest terrorist attack in Japan, or the single most deadliest attack in Japan, but regardless, it's because of that. That is what the Happy Happy cult, happyism represents. Not the KKK, but a deadly Japanese cult. If I'm not mistaken, parts of the Shamrikyo cult disbanded and went into separate branches that still exist to this day, sadly. But if I'm not mistaken, those responsible for the terrorist attack, which was a bombing within a Japanese subway, they basically got charges and all that fun razzmatazz stuff. Okay, so it turns out I was actually a bit right and wrong with the whole thing, with the whole happyism cult. Because with an interviews, as I've done research, because this is future me doing the editing for this whole video, it turns out the Happy Happy cult is actually based on both the Shamrikyo cult made by Asahara Shoko, born in March 2nd, 1955. And it was actually loosely based on the Ku Klux Klan, actually. So it turns out, when I first played the game, over a decade ago on the Wii U Virtual Console, I was actually correct with the whole thing. And apparently, yeah, obviously within re-releases of Earthbound, they'd have to at least put the little white poofy cotton balls on the tips of the hoods for the happy cultists. And yes, I was also right with my guess of the Shamrikyo cult being arrested and charged with the 1989. Oh, my mistake, not that one. They were actually charged with releasing the gas in the Tokyo subway system that killed 13 people and injured almost 6,000 people for the Tokyo subway attack of 1995. Eventually, they were arrested for the Shamrikyo cult. Asahara and his goons were arrested. They were arrested in 2004, and over a decade later, he was given the death sentence by hanging. And I'm actually surprised about that, because the simple fact that, well, hanging is kind of an old-fashioned thing. They used to do it way, way long ago for a means of the death sentence, but now we just get firing squads, you got the chair, you got lethal injection, you know, all that. So I figured I'd at least inform you about this whole thing, as nice little fun facts for this in this regard.